what to do if you don't have any visions, if you basically just don't see or hear anything. And no worries, there is a perfectly good workaround. Yeah, you know the feeling of you're going to a guided meditation, and afterwards everyone is talking about all the great things they have seen, the visions they had, and you didn't see anything. Well, I used to be that person. So I thought, yeah, I just don't have the gift, I guess. Yeah, for some reason I just don't see. It is true that some people are really psychic, so they can totally clearly see and hear things that others cannot. But you don't have to be psychic to see things. It is in the imagination. And also, people used to say, yeah, you can also use your imagination, but I didn't get that because I write fantasy books. I have tons of imagination. So, how can I know if something is just imagined or if it's real? Well, basically, all of that stuff is real. Looking back now, the things that I wrote in my books, lots of things that I thought I made up are actually spiritual things that I downloaded somehow or saw in my imagination, which was real. So imagination is real, but the trick is of learning how to work with it. So I don't know if you're familiar with Carl Jung. He's a famous psychologist of way back in the years, and he made this technique of active imagination. And that is actually what most people use when they say they have visions, if they're not psychic. People that don't have that much imagination, that don't write fantasy books, they are not that used to having all of these images pop up in their imagination. So if they go to a guided meditation and they imagine something, then for them it's more clear that this is a vision. And if you have a lot of imagination, which we probably do, then you'll think, no, this is just something I made up. I make up stuff all the time. So how do you know, or how can you trust that that imagination is real? First of all, it is the term active imagination is pretty good because it's something you have to do actively. It is quite tiring for the mind. It's really, yeah, it's really a brain drain. You really have to focus because the way it feels for me is, yeah, I'm not just watching TV. The images don't just come automatically. I need to make them. Like if you want to imagine a fantasy story, you need to make the images and the characters and what they're saying. You need to make it in your head, in your mind. And this is the same if you want to have visions in your active imagination. You have to make them. So that's the first thing. It's an active thing. You cannot just sit in meditation and wait for the TV images to show up. You have to work. You have to make them. But then still, how can you know that this is real and it's not something you're making up? Because when I say make them, it's like, okay, making them up. How do you know what's real and what is imagined? Is you need to go with the first thing that pops in your mind. And this is often, it goes so fast. For example, you see a fire, but the moment you see this in your imagination, you've already pushed it away. So it's really training yourself to recognize this was something that came, the first thing, and I pushed it away, so I need to get it back. And if you practice this, then it will get much more conscious. So you'll know that you're pushing things away, and it will be easier to maintain them. And you can even test this. For example, if you had this image of a fire, it was the first thing that just popped up in your mind. And you're like, is it really the fire that is now the vision, or is it something that I made up? And you can try making up something else. For example, try to make up a tree, and it will be less tangible. The tree will be more difficult to maintain versus the fire, which is the real vision. It will be very easy to go back to that and to stay with that image. It won't just disappear. So that's how you know that this is the vision, that is the real one, because it's much more tangible and it's much easier to maintain in your mind. But then still, yeah, this vision will change because whoever is showing you these things, for example, want to show you I'm just imagining a fire that is going in a circle, and it's the whole circle is now in flames. So the image will do something. So this is the active part. This is looking at the fire and looking what does the fire want to do, and then you'll see it go around. Like just I say I made it up, but this was an image that came somehow for some reason was the image that came now, the fire in the circle. So it's really about trusting that imagination is real and going with your impulse. If your impulse was that it was a fire, then not to push that one away, but to really go to that fire and see what it wants to do. So really keep your focus on that fire. And it is the tiring part, the active part is keeping the focus because the mind wants to wander all over the place, but you're keeping the focus on the fire and you're looking at the image and seeing what it wants to do. And it will do something. It's your imagination, but it's actually your vision showing you things. So it is as easy as that, and it's really just about trusting the process, practicing, and then you will have the greatest visions of them all. So I hope you'll get started this way. I hope this will bring you wonderful visions. And let me know in the comments what you think about it, if you try it out, if you have some difficulties. I really want to hear from you. Bye for now.